And it really does look like he's enjoying himself. Like, looks like this man is having a great time.
The movement men going their own way is not about hating women. It's about self-protection. Many men already tried relationship, marriage and commitment. And instead of peace, they got pressure, blame and risk. So they stepped back. They chose to focus on their health, work, hobbies, their peace. And it doesn't make them bitter. It makes them aware. So MGTOW is not anger. It's just a quiet decision to stop sacrificing yourself in situations when you're not respected.
I've got the counter to what you was just talking about, Kira. There is this movement has been around for a while called MGTOW, men going their own way. They believe that not to get in a relationship, don't get with a single mom, don't do it. Just don't do it. Oh. And unfortunately, when we're talking about this type of stuff, this is the reason why that is getting so big. Because unfortunately, there's so many of them out there that do this. There really is. And these guys don't believe in the nuclear family. They don't. Well, they want to be. They want to be in that family. They want that life. But they said with the way that feminism in society is right now, we're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's so sad because I believe in that traditional intact family, that nuclear family.
Men with no hose. Where are you? What are you?
Gym, working, taking care of responsibilities and priorities. Possibly building businesses, trying to leave behind a legacy, building the life that they want so they can establish the future necessary. And some of them are even so lost that they're kind of just trying to figure out what to do with their life. But a vast majority of the good men out there who don't have any, they're just doing life. And they're trying to do everything possible that they can in order to have a better quality of life so that way they can have the future that they desire. And I would bet that every day that you go out, you probably pass one of those dudes. But they in their lane, with their head down, minding their business, grinding and doing their thing because they don't want to waste time or play games. And I would say a vast majority are probably waiting to find the right quality of woman to invest into because, like I said, they're tired of games.
You know, guys, this woman is a genius. She 100% gets it. Because you know what? Real guys now are not sitting out at bars and drinking all night or sitting online or doing all the things that are unproductive. Most of them are sitting at the gym. They're working through all their issues, all their problems. They're beating on their craft, right? They're getting up early in the morning and getting a good workout in. They are self-care. They are investing in themselves in terms of seminars and books and everything else. Because the real men out there want to move forward. They want to build a family. They want to have a foundation. They want to be the men and the fathers that they're supposed to be. That's where they are. They're not sitting at bars. They're not sitting out and doing things that are unproductive. So ladies, if you want to find a real man, go to the gym. Love it.
The MGTOW guys ripped this one. Okay, so I had to look this up. MGTOW stands for Men Going Their Own Way. So apparently it's this online group of men that promote masculinity, hostility towards women, strong opposition towards feminism, and exaggerated misogyny. First of all, the only time I've ever been ripped was childbirth. TMI, I know, but you know. Second of all, this is sad. So what you're telling me is a bunch of men got together and formed a I Hate Girls Club? Like what you do when you're 7, 8 years old? So these men never grew up? Look, I don't hate all men. And I don't have followers that hate all men. We are cautious towards all men. And rightly so. Because statistics show that men are our biggest predators. And you would tell your daughter to be cautious towards men as well. But this woman-hating group that's so active on the internet, trying to tear all of us women down, I don't think they understand that it's not tearing us down. It's only empowering us and bringing us together and supporting each other, because that's what women do. These men are mad that women have decentered men from our lives. Men are no longer the center of our lives anymore. We want equality. How is that bad, friend? How is it bad to say, I want to be equal? I want to be a partner? So these men believe that feminism and sexism and women in general are responsible for destroying the Western life, the Western way of living. And we are. And it's about damn time. This group is no different than the KKK and white supremacists. When there are a group of people in society that are being oppressed and they fight back, change has to happen, friend. And it is, and I'm so, so proud of all the women that came before me and the women that are standing beside me, fighting for our freedom and our equality. And most importantly, our safety. I don't mean to get emotional. I just don't understand this kind of hate. I don't understand why you would not want equality for all. I don't understand why these men come onto women's pages and say such disgusting things and insults. What I do know is that hurt people hurt people. So every time a man comes on and tries to hurt me, what they're doing is screaming, I'm a hurt child and I need attention. And any attention is better than no attention. The effort that these people put into hating a whole gender, if you just took that effort and put it into love, self-awareness, self-love, your whole world would change.
There's somebody in the comments that said, yeah, I'm 47 years old, never married and no kids. And now, at this day and age, 100% own my own $1.8 million house and all the boy toys. For example, fast cars, boat, etc. Somebody, another dude comes up in response to him and he says, congratulations, but you're missing the best part of life by not having a real connection to a woman and allowing her to bring and nurture your seed into this world. You wrestle with your empty self. And a woman, even though this man came and was saying, you know, the best part of life is a woman, she comes back. She comes back and corrects him and says, your seed, isn't that also her children? You know, and that's why men are staying single, because you can never really be on the side of these modern women. They always gonna have something silly to say.
Most of these dorks that go MGTOW, or men going their own way, or they want to give up, they want to be single for the rest of their lives, not talk to any women. These guys listen to these other podcasts, these red pill podcasts, where they just reinforce their fears that they already have of women, their bitterness that they have of women, where they go, oh my God, you see, I knew it. I knew women are bad. I knew women are this. Oh, I knew. Right. That's why my ex-girlfriend did that. And they just want to give up. Right. They just want to give up.
The excuse to give up.
It's all excuses. Yeah. It all just reinforces their excuses to not go approach women, not attract women, not date single mothers, not date anyone, period. But they can hate on single mothers, but they don't date anyone, period. Not even single mothers. Yeah. So what the are they complaining about? Yeah. It's more complaining than any type of action whatsoever.
There's nothing masculine about giving up in general, whether it's dating. You can apply MGTOW to anything else. Oh my God, work is hard. I'm just going to give up. This is, life's unfair. It's not a masculine mindset to just give up. It's mentality. Yeah, I never was a fan of that.
Which is so unattractive to me. It's so unattractive, especially in a man, a victim. Like, no.
And then to openly talk about it, like, oh, we're just giving up. It's not in our favor.
I mean, I know you like to say that, but once again, it's not going to stop me from saving my money, right? It's not going to stop me from moving into a place or moving in alignment with, I still want companionship, but I'm not about to sit up here and waste my money and my time. I know you guys want to act like that doesn't exist, but it does. So no, I'm not going to be listening to you, sir.
There is a movement many people talk about, but very few actually explain calmly and honestly. Some people attack it, some people misunderstand it, and some people exaggerate it. Well, it's called Men Going Their Own Way, or MGTOW. And today I want to talk about what this movement really is, why it appeared, and why so many men quietly relate to it, even if they never use the label. And this video is not about hating women, blaming them, or promoting isolation. It's about understanding why men reached a point where many of them decided to step back from traditional relationships, marriage, and expectations placed on them. And whether people like it or not, this movement didn't appear from nothing. It appeared because of real experiences, real patterns, and real consequences that men face today. A man choosing to focus on his own life instead of centering his existence around relationships with women. That's it. It doesn't automatically mean hating women, being angry. It doesn't mean living alone forever. It means a man deciding that his time, energy, money, and emotional investment should first serve his own well-being. And for some men, that means no marriage. For others, no long-term relationships. For others, casual dating with clear boundaries. And for some, it simply means emotional distance and caution. And the key word here is choice. So why did this movement appear now? Why not 50 or 100 years ago? Well, the answer here is quite simple. Because the rules changed, but the expectations placed on men did not. Let's see. In the past, relationships were built on clear roles, right? Men were expected to provide and protect. Women were expected to support their home and family. And it wasn't perfect, but it was so clear. And men knew what they were working toward. Marriage gave men a family, stability, respect, and purpose. And today that structure is gone. Roles are unclear, expectations are contradictory, and the risks are higher than ever, especially for men. Modern men are told they must still provide, protect, lead, and commit. But they are also told that they are disposable, replaceable, and not needed. And they are expected to invest emotionally and financially, but they are not guaranteed loyalty, respect, or long-term stability in return. And, well, actually, men notice this imbalance slowly at first, then very clearly. And one of the big reasons MGTOW appeared is marriage risk. And according to official divorce trends, most divorces are initiated by women, right? Again, this is not an attack, it's a pattern. And when divorce happens, men often lose the most: access to their kids, financial stability, their home, and sometimes their mental health. And men saw their fathers, friends, co-workers, brothers go through all this. They watched men do everything right and still lose everything. So they started asking a simple question: why should I sign a contract where I carry most of the risk, but I have very little control? And another reason MGTOW grew is modern dating culture. Dating today is very different from what it used to be. Social media changed everything. Attention is unlimited, comparison is constant, loyalty is tested daily. Men are no longer competing with one man. They are competing with thousands of options on the phone screen. And many men feel that no matter how much they give, they are always being compared to someone else. And that creates anxiety, actually, not connection. Men also notice that emotional labor became one-sided, like they are expected to listen, provide support, stay strong, but when they express needs, frustration, or exhaustion, they are often dismissed. And men are told to open up, but when they do, it is sometimes used against them later. So many men learn to stay quiet, emotionally distant, and careful. And MGTOW is not about emotional coldness, it's about emotional self-defense. Another important factor is respect. Many men feel they are no longer respected simply for being men. Masculinity is often criticized, mocked, framed as dangerous, and yet at the same time, women still expect masculine behavior when it benefits them, like protection, leadership, financial stability, and emotional strength. And this double message creates confusion and resentment. Many men feel that they are expected to give but not allowed to be valued. So MGTOW became a response to that confusion, like not a protest but a withdrawal. Not anger but distance. And it's important to say that clearly, not all women are the same, guys. Not all women behave badly. Not all relationships are toxic. There are kind, loyal, emotionally mature women who bring peace and stability into a man's life. And those women exist. But men don't build life strategies based on exceptions. They build them based on patterns. And the pattern men saw was this: high risk, low reward, and little appreciation. And let me tell you, many men in the MGTOW mindset are not bitter. They are just tired. They are men who tried relationships, tried marriage, commitment, and felt punished for it. So they decided to redirect their energy. They focus on work, health, hobbies, travel, personal growth. They stop chasing validation. They stop trying to prove themselves. They stop playing a game where the rules constantly change. And here's something important that critics often actually ignore. Men going their own way doesn't harm women. It simply removes men from a system they no longer trust. If a man decides not to marry, not to cohabitate, not to financially entangle himself, this is his right. Just like it is a woman's right to choose what kind of life she wants.
And you know, going back to the beginning of this video, I'm really glad that she said it's not about hating women, because we have a previous clip where the woman was talking about, oh, this movement is about hating women. It's about holding you accountable. And I guess a lot of modern women feel like men hate them because men are holding them accountable. That's what they hate.
All right, I'm going to say it. Some of y'all aren't going to like it. Doesn't make it any less true. Here we go. A lot of really good men are leaving marriages. Why is that? Is it because they fell out of love, or is it something else? A lot of what we're seeing now is men leaving marriages, not because they've fallen out of love, but because they feel unappreciated within that marriage. Now, these guys, they work all day, they provide, they make sure you're safe, they make sure you're taken care of. What do they get in return? A lot of them are getting criticism for what they didn't do, as opposed to the thankfulness for what they do. Men are not like women. They don't need a big show of affection. They don't need a parade. They don't need constant gifts. But what they do need is appreciation, gratitude, respect. What they want to hear is that the person they're working so hard for, or the family that they're working so hard for, to say, we appreciate all that hard work you're putting in. We see you. When a man feels unappreciated at home, doesn't matter how much he loves you, at a certain point, he can't keep continuing to pour from an empty cup. He's going to stop trying to pour into a cup that's continually empty. He's also going to stop pouring into a cup that constantly is looked at as half full.
Here's a guy in the comments that said it's not just about receiving gratitude. Verbalization of being thankful can be unauthentic, or inauthentic is what he means at times. It's the actual showing love and support and meeting each other's needs that will keep the relationship healthy and fruitful. Also, growth in a relationship is a must. Both people have to grow together or relationships will fall apart. That's very true. There was a woman on here talking about how she was getting divorced. She was going to get divorced because her husband cheated on her. And her husband didn't love her son, which would have been his stepson. And he said, well, I resent your stepson. And really, I don't think he resented, he said that, but I think he resented the way she treated him, right? He was like, man, she don't ever treat me like that. How come? He resents the situation, but that's what he said. So we're going to say, I don't love your son like that. You know, I feel like I'm always last priority. And she says, either you go get therapy for that, or we're getting a divorce. And instead of her, because it is her problem, going and getting therapy with him, she told him to go get therapy by himself. And then wanted to turn around and talk about how great of a wife she had been for a little over 10 years. I've done everything. I'm willing to do everything. Okay, shut up, stop talking, and go to therapy. Oh, I'm not going to do that because I don't think I'm the problem. Bingo.
You spent an hour getting ready, changed your outfit 3 times, worried about your hair and your makeup, whether these shoes were a little too much. You're wondering if he's going to notice the effort you put in, if he'll care at all about your lipstick shade, or whether you got everything just right, as intended. Here's the truth. He's noticing things, just not the things you think. Men aren't sitting across from you analyzing whether your accessories coordinate or if you nailed the perfect smoky eye. They're picking up on completely different signals. Some are obvious, some you didn't even know you were sending. And if you've ever walked away from a date wondering, what was he thinking, or why you didn't call again, understanding what men actually notice might explain a lot. I also filmed an episode about what the women notice. Today we're breaking down exactly what's registering in his brain from the moment you walk in until the moment you leave. The stuff he's actually aware of, the stuff he's not even consciously thinking about, but is absolutely influencing how he feels about you. That's intriguing. Sounds interesting. I hope you'll stick around because that's what's on the agenda. Let's start with the obvious. Men are noticing how you look. Are you put together? Do you look like you care? That's the kind of stuff that's landing with that. Not whether your nails are professionally done or if your jeans are this season's style. Just, did you show up like this matters to you? Because effort is attractive. Not perfection, effort. Okay, remember how just now I said to you that he notices what you look like? Allow me to get a little more specific. After that quick overall scan, your vibe and how you carry yourself, it's your boobs. Yeah, he noticed. You could walk in wearing a puffer coat zipped to your chin and somehow he still noticed. It's not a decision that he's making. It's just biology doing what biology does. His eyes will flicker down at least once. It's practically muscle memory. Low cut top? He noticed. Turtleneck? Yeah, he still noticed. Just had to work a little harder for it. It doesn't make him a creep. It just makes him human with functioning vision. So don't stress about it or try to outthink it. It's already happened, probably within the first 30 seconds. And now we're just all moving on with our lives. But then his attention narrows to specifics, your eyes, your smile. Funny enough, that's what women notice first about men, too. Are you looking at him when you talk, when he talks? Or are your eyes darting around the room like you're a Secret Service agent scanning for threats? And your smile, is it real or is it that customer service smile you give when you're being polite but internally planning your grocery list or escape? Men can tell the difference. A genuine smile makes them feel like they're doing something right. And that forced one, I can't do it anymore. It hurts. It makes them feel like they're at a dentist appointment and you're just enduring until you can leave. Men are paying attention to your energy. Are you fun to be around? Do you seem like you're enjoying yourself? Or does it seem like this is an obligation to you that you're going to cross off your to-do list? This doesn't mean you need to be some bubble of relentless enthusiasm bouncing around like you're hosting a children's show. But if you're sighing about the traffic before you even sit down and complaining about your day before you've even been handed your putt-putt clubs, launching into a rant about your coworker Karen who microwaves fish in the office kitchen, he's already doing math on how quickly he can wrap this up. Because negativity is contagious. You start listing everything that's wrong. The parking was terrible. This place is a little too loud. Your boss is the worst. Your sister won't stop texting. And suddenly he's sitting there wondering if anything makes you happy or if dealing with you would just be a full-time job of trying to cheer you up while you point out everything that's slightly off. Men want to feel like being with you is easy, like you're someone who can find the positive and the good in every situation immediately. They're not looking for toxic positivity, but somebody who doesn't treat every minor inconvenience like a personal insult. Lighthearted means that you can laugh at yourself and you don't take things all too seriously. You can roll with the punches when things don't go perfectly. You know, the waiter brings you the wrong drink, and instead of acting like he insulted your family, you just take it with kindness. Bitterness is the opposite. It's when you've maybe been through some stuff and you're still hauling it around like an overpacked suitcase that you refuse to put down for even a minute. Men can smell bitterness from across the table. The way you talk about your ex or past relationships like they're crime scenes. The little comments about all men are typical when something reminds you of an old wound you're still picking at. I had a client who went on a date and the woman he was with brought up her ex-husband 4 times in the first 20 minutes or so. Not because he was relevant to anything, just because she couldn't stop. Every story ended with, and that's when I realized I just couldn't trust him. By the time dessert came, my client felt like he was on trial for crimes committed by somebody else entirely. You don't have to pretend you don't have a past. But if every story ends with, and that's why I have trust issues now, he's going to start wondering if he's on a date or an unpaid therapy session, and whether everything he says is going to get filtered through the lens of what some other guy did to you. Let's see, men notice how you carry yourself, your posture, the way you take up space or don't. Are you slouching like you're trying to fold yourself into the smallest possible version of you? Or are you sitting up and owning your space, looking like you belong here? Posture is one of those sneaky little things that broadcasts confidence without you saying a word. And confidence, real confidence, not the performative kind, is really attractive. Not arrogance, not I'm better than everybody else here and I want everyone to know it. Not that. I'm comfortable with me and I'm not apologizing for it, that kind.
And I really appreciate that she breaks it down this way, because pretty much all of the things that a man notices and that a man does is demonized. Oh, you're gross, you're this, you're that. No, I just notice that about you. I'm noticing it about you. And modern women don't seem, they want to notice, say, and act how they want to act. Sometimes they'll say things that are downright disgusting. But then, oh, well, that's just the way they feel. I feel that's my truth. But when a man says, okay, I'm noticing X, Y, and Z, and it's 10 times more mild than what she just talked about, he's a creep. How does that work?
A lot of you guys are stuck in this loop of not understanding if a woman with you is actually in love with you or not. And you might have a lot of false assumptions about it. You might be thinking that women actually confess their love through big gestures or dramatic confession, but the truth is actually more subtler than that. And in this video, I really want to talk about what are some of the signs that she actually is in love with you. So, without any further ado, let me take you a little bit inside what goes on in a woman's mind so that you can understand what are some of the signs that she is actually into you and she's interested in you. So, the first sign is her attention actually finds you everywhere. When a woman falls in love, her attention becomes very sharp. Suddenly, she starts noticing what is your favorite drink? What are some of the things that you like to eat? What are some things, that matters to you? This is how a woman actually behaves when she is in love with you, because a woman's way of showing love is actually doing small things for the person instead of probably just directly telling the man that, hey, she is madly in love with him. It's a great thing to want a woman who has that emotional maturity to communicate her feelings, but sometimes in the beginning, the attraction is very subtle. And these are some things that you can notice to see, okay, if she is really into you or not. And if she's really into you, sometimes her care is not that very loud, but she notices subtle things about you that you truly like. And it's because your needs actually starts mattering to her, and somewhere within her, she wants to make you happy. And even if you guys go out, or even if you are in a crowded room, her eyes kind of scan for your presence. Because when a woman actually falls in love with you, she kind of feels safe in your presence. So anywhere she goes, even if it's, let's say, a group event or a group get together, she would be scanning the room to actually notice you, find your presence, to feel that sense of inner safety within her as well. And this isn't performance. It's like when you actually care for someone, your attention naturally flows to that person. The second sign that she actually is in love with you is that she becomes soft in your presence. Now, a lot of women who are more masculine in nature, they do get attracted to men who they can dominate on. But when a woman truly is in love with someone, she softens in his presence. Somehow her femininity starts coming out, as I said, because she kind of feels safe to be with you, which is why she probably started developing feelings for you. Now, I'm just not talking about infatuation or the surface level attraction, because she doesn't know you well enough to even determine that if she actually feels safe in your presence. And this is not a conscious thought process. Instead, these things are running very unconsciously in a woman's mind. The world might actually see her as very strong, very independent, but in your presence, if she can become soft, if she can become feminine, that is actually a very first thing that makes a woman fall in love with you. Because there are very few men out there who can actually take a woman out of her survival mode. And what is a woman being in her masculine energy? She's in her survival energy because she does not feel safe enough to rest in her feminine energy and to love someone. That is a characteristic of feminine energy. So when a woman actually is in love, that is where she feels safe for her feminine side to actually come out. And if you are someone who can take a woman out of her survival, because your masculine energy is strong, your masculine energy is present, where she naturally feels safe to let her guards down, then trust me, there is no other way for her but to fall in love with you. Third sign is she actually invests emotionally in you and not just practically. And she's not checking in with you just for the sake of it, but she is actually genuinely concerned about you. She cares about you, where she wants to know what are the high points and what are the low points in your day. Now, a woman who is in love with you, she actually wants to weave her emotions with yours. And she won't just randomly ask you about your day just to check in with you, but she genuinely cares about what are the highs and lows in your life. And she wants to actually celebrate your wins. She wants to genuinely feel proud of the hard work that you're doing, but also at the same time, even if you are struggling, she feels the pain, and it's not that she's gonna leave you if she is genuinely in love with you. Now, there are a lot of instances where you end up opening up to a woman and she ends up leaving. Now, it's not that women can't handle it, but you are actually not with a woman who truly loves you. Because if you share vulnerably with a woman who is truly in love with you, she is going to stand beside you no matter what. But it's also not about emotionally dumping on her. It's about having a strong masculine presence for yourself where you are grounded, you have solutions to your problem, but you are actually just sharing with her because she creates that safe space for you. The fourth sign is she lets you see her vulnerability. She doesn't have to pretend as if she is a strong woman in front of you, but instead, somewhere she feels safe enough to show her emotions to you because you are emotionally present as a masculine man. You are not going to shake when she shows her emotions, and she feels the safety built in the relationship or in the connection itself. This is what allows her to even be vulnerable with you. And if she is vulnerable with you, where she is sharing your feelings and she is taking into account whatever solutions, let's say, you are giving her, that is a big sign that she is actually very much into you, because somewhere she actually values your opinion.
I think all of these are great. I really do. I think they're fantastic. I think a lot of men benefit from these things. You wouldn't know it to hear how a lot of modern women talk online, but I think a lot of men already know these things, or of a lot of these things. Probably half the list men know about, but they're they never see it. They never see it. It's all, up front. Hey, pay for this, buy me this. And then you're 3-4 months down the road looking for any of these, just like a sliver of them. And so a man he's left to wonder, I mean, does she even care? And then you get videos, once again, looking for these signs. You get videos where women saying, well, we expect a man to put in 100% when we first start dating. And then over time, I'll invest in the relationship. So you mean to tell me I'm putting in 3 to 4 months without any reciprocation from you? No, absolutely not. You understand how the dating market is. You need to be trying to put in more effort nowadays.
Let's talk about the men going their own way movement. So recently I found out that there's this community of men online who basically are completely just giving up on dating and deciding that it's not really worth it. They basically claim that modern dating is so hard and social media has killed love and modern women aren't dateable. And honestly, I think it's just a coping mechanism, because it's a lot easier for us as humans to justify our behaviors by making excuses for ourselves and pointing the finger and blaming outwardly than it is to actually look in and make an internal change. Like, maybe women aren't the problem. Maybe there's nothing wrong with modern dating. Maybe it's just that they don't want to put in the effort. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everything is perfect. Of course, there are a lot of obstacles in modern dating, but I don't think throwing in the white towel and giving up is the solution. I think you have to rise to the occasion. You have to be your best self. If you're struggling, find out why and look inward and better yourself.
I'm glad you said that, champ. You know what's a part of MGTOW? Self-improvement. You need to get your money up. You need to get your health up. Hey, you need to take better care of yourself. Hey, you need to develop relationships. See, somebody in the comments said, this guy doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. And they really don't. They really don't.
Okay, what'd you say?
I
I can't stand him when I'm not on my pills.
You said you liked him, just not today. What was it about today that was so bad?
I really like him. I don't think I'm leaving him on because I like him. It was just today I didn't like him. And it's like I made him sit through 2 musicals and he cried at the end of one, and that pissed me off for some reason. Like I don't like, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but shut up and go away. And then he hugged me before he left, and that pissed me off because it was too long of a hug, too tight of a hug. I don't know, but I was ready for him to leave like 3 hours before that.
Before you started the last movie?
Yes.
And made him watch it?
Yes, I thought he would leave. Turns out he's not.
So you're mad at him for being patient and caring. Is that...
I haven't taken my anxiety meds in 2 days, and I think that he causes me anxiety.
You think it's him and not your lack of taking the medication that prevents the anxiety. You think it's him.
I think that he caused anxiety.
Was he in your life when you started on the anxiety pills?
You know that he wasn't, and I know what you're doing.
Okay. So then could it possibly be that you hadn't taken your anxiety pills that you're used to taking, and so you were more anxious?
Okay, maybe, but like, I was obviously upset, and he asks me, "Are you upset?" And I say no. And then he just...
This sounded familiar, guys?
He's like, okay. I'm like, what do you even want from me? Like, what do you want?
Probably
like,
communication.
Obviously, I'm upset. Leave.
Oh, that's what men do. Oh, you're mad? Well, I'm just going to leave then. That's what good men do.
No, he cleaned out my entire house. He vacuumed my entire house.
How terrible of him.
No, he vacuumed and did my dishes.
How awful of him. Are you hearing this? The monster she's dating?
He made me lunch. And sat down. We held hands. And he said grace.
How are you possibly putting up with this?
That made me so
I know,
angry.
right? Oh my God.
It made me so angry.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I get it. No, I get it.
There you go.
I'm gonna leave now. I don't. You upset with me?
It was such a stressful day, and I literally told him, I said, I'm under so much stress. And he goes, I get stressed sometimes too. And oh my God, I wanted to punch him right in the face.
Compassion. How dare he?
The sad thing is, typically you...
Into stupidity. Guy in the comments said this is why a lot of women are failing in life. She will regret him in her single 30 plus life. And yet we have men out here talking about, oh, you're just bitter and it's a coping mechanism. Are you serious?
Are you familiar with MGTOW? Have you heard of that? Men going their own way. So
What?
there's a bunch of groups within the manosphere, right? Which is men trying to work...
Manosphere?
Manosphere, yeah. So men trying to work out what to do online. And I resonate with this because I was somebody that got to the end of his 20s and was clueless. I mean, I still might be a man-child now at 34, but my point being that I'm less of an idiot than I was back then. So there's a whole bunch of different groups: red pill, black pill, MGTOW, incels, all of this stuff. And what they're trying to do is they're all different flavors of people trying to work out how the world works. And men going their own way are people that have been scorned by women usually, or having difficulty with women, and have now renounced them entirely. We don't need them. I'm not going to be involved with them anymore. Men going their own way. A lot of them are people who maybe were previously married. They're tangential to men's rights, which is, you may be familiar with, they're kind of like justice for guys who don't have access to their kids after divorce and stuff like that. And what's happening here is they've got the simulacrum of a community.
I wanted to tell you about a really interesting conversation my husband and I just had about the male loneliness epidemic, which I'll start by saying I hate that phrase for it. I think we should call it the epidemic of a certain group of men that won't adapt and change to the growing social needs and new needs of women, and so women choose not to date them and they are crying and whining about it. I was telling him about this comedy special of Eliza Schlesinger, I think is her name, where she talks about this epidemic and describes it as essentially a natural selection, right? So it's women making this choice that you are not the men that we want to procreate with, and so those men's genes are going to be taken out of the next generation, right? And I was talking to him about that, and he brought up a man that we both know, who is a really good man who has no interest at all in dating and kind of he has a great job, but then spends a lot of his time outside of work playing video games. And I was like, that is not at all who we're talking about when we talk about the male loneliness epidemic. We're talking about the men who are online, who are complaining about the fact that no women will date them. We are talking about the men who have literally gone up and committed a mass shooting and have written manifestos blaming women and the fact that they're not getting for why they committed this mass shooting. We're talking about the men that are going onto chat rooms and Reddit on the internet talking about how it's all women's faults, that they're trying to get dates, but they're not getting them, and they're not looking into their self and how they can improve themselves, and they're not looking at their profile and how all the things written on them are offensive and cruel. They're blaming all of the women for not choosing them. Those are the men we're talking about. The ones wanting to date, but they can't get a date because women aren't choosing them. And this blew his mind. Blew his mind. And I'm shocked because I thought this was common knowledge. And so I guess I'm out here wondering what algorithm all the men have that's different from the algorithm that we women have. But I'd love to hear from others to make sure that we're all on the same page here.
And I guess that's the thing. You guys are talking about men that have done these mass eliminations, which everybody is on the same page that it shouldn't happen, right? But how many of those have happened? You're talking about one man. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he did a lot of damage, but you're talking about one man, or like a handful of men that have done damage versus the rest of the population. I mean, once again, this one man has crushed a lot of lives. He's impacted a lot of lives. I get that. But what you guys continue to try to do is you continue to try to loop in all of the men and say, okay, it's a male loneliness epidemic. No, it's a concentrated issue that you keep on throwing me. Oh, you must be like him. I'm not. I don't even know that guy. That guy's weird. I agree with you. That guy, whatever he did, that was weird. And y'all keep on trying to loop men into all this stuff and say it's a huge worldwide mass problem. And y'all want everybody to jump on it, do research on it, and solve the problem. Let's get together and solve the problem when it has to do with modern women. But when a man says, oh, hey, I have a problem too, we can solve yours. And we did solve yours. But hey, I have a problem too. Oh, well, who built the system? You solve it. That's your issue. So I'm supposed to be human and empathetic and help you solve your problems, but you're not about to help me solve mine, and you're going to continue to talk to me like a dog?
And unfortunately, I don't run a street program over here. I run a program of know what the hell you want before you pursue me. Yeah, all these rules and regulations on the man, please. Because the man going to do what the hell they want to do, regardless. So, ain't nothing strict here. Yeah, you want to put your phone down and turn it on the other side, I put mine in my bonnet. Yeah. Ain't no such thing as death row. You can get the hell on. I'm telling you, nobody's holding you hostage. Bye. All that toxic love, I don't want that. Pulling up, showing out, doing all that extra shit, showing that I'm in charge and I'm the one that's... No. Because just a phone call itself. Hey, baby, where you at? When time you coming home? And that's all that is. I'm going to trust what you say because your word is what all I can go off of. But once that trust is gone, hey, baby, what we talking about? The grass is definitely green on the other side. Y'all, it's other people out here. I promise you, I'm at the age of my life where I'm not wasting all this time on one person. Like, I'm not doing that. Bye. Do what you want to do. If you feel like you got to have that girl, and that girl, go be with them, because you can never, I will never be a part of the circle. I remove myself out of it, and I give y'all perfect little triangle, baby. Please. Yeah, y'all be giving too many rules and regulations, baby. You better come ready to go, because I am. I'm healed and ready to go. I don't got to get rid of, cut off, or do all that extra shit, play with you, go back and forth, none of that. That's why it's not strict here. Because I know what I want. You better know what you want, or you're going to get left. That's all that is.
And it's funny when a man expresses this exact same thing, then all of a sudden he's sassy, he's hurt, he's bitter, he don't really know himself, he's insecure, and all of those other names that you hear from modern women.
A lot of women hate seeing men have their way. And I think it's because women don't really want equality. They only talk about equality when it's beneficial to them. But a lot of these women out here, they have their way as far as like the single life, not in relationships, because in relationships, how it's supposed to go more times than not is men supposed to run that shit, but a lot of y'all ain't got no backbone. That's another video for another day. But like when a dude is out here and he talking to, being with, sleeping with any and every woman he wants, a lot of women don't like that. That's why they try to downplay it, or, call men names, or say you sleeping with all these different women, you must want a dude or something. They try to shame you for having your way. But they out here doing the same thing, having their way. They got 5, 6 different dudes they talking to. The next nigga, the ex, the new boo, the Uber dude, the money dude, the dude that buy them shoes, the dude who just drop off money. They got like 9, 10 on their roster, having their way. But when you have your way, they got a problem with that shit. And then they got a problem with it because you're having your way just like them. And you having your way, it's over women. Just like them having their way, it's over. And I don't like that shit.
And you got a point there. It don't really even matter what it is. It don't matter if you're doing things that totally normal to a man. They're still going to find a way to shame you for it. Whatever it is. You about to be shamed for it. I'm about to tell you that you probably like men off of you doing stuff that's what a normal straight man would do.